All right, here we go with the first lesson. So we're going to focus on, I guess you could say, some of the more confusing aspects of that first example in the skill knowledge test. So we're going to look at tied notes and dotted half notes. So some things to do here. We're going to be following the metronome, doing that metronome method. You're going to start at 60 beats per minute every day, no matter how fast you get. Always start at 60. Now, that being said, if you get to at least 240, send a video of that, okay? Speaking of sending videos, what you will do for each week for your lesson submission, I want you to film the entire final practice session and send that over. So the entire thing. That includes adding in the repeats at the end. And if you confused, or if you have questions about the repeat thing, follow that video I sent you earlier that talks about how we're going to practice this stuff, okay? Basically you're going to work this up, no repeat at first, get it as fast as you can within 15 minutes. After the 15 minutes, you start adding in the repetitions. And if you max out in less than 15 minutes, start adding in the repetitions there. So anyway, just send the whole final practice session next week, so this way I can see how things sound at the slow speeds, medium speeds, fast speeds, whatnot. So the whole thing, please. And again, if you reach 240 in less than a week, send it early. Let's just make sure everything sounds good, and we can get a jump start on the next thing. So anyway, if you don't get to 240, that's not a problem. Just focus on your accuracy. Speed is just a byproduct of playing accurately at faster and faster tempos. So never chase the speed, chase the accuracy. All right. When you do this stuff, especially the quarter notes here, we want to really lay back on that metronome. So think about playing a split second after the click or after the beat, because if you think of it that way, that will tend to put you where you need to be within that metronome click. Pretty much anytime people begin to anticipate the beat, especially at the slow tempos, when they anticipate the beat, they play too early. And it's always better to sound a split second late versus a split second early. It just sounds more precise being a split second late versus early. So, keep that in mind as you're starting out here. Really laid back, think about playing a split second after the click. And I want you to count 1, 2, 3, 4 as you play from 60 beats per minute to at least 120. You can do it faster than that, definitely do so. Because doing that will make sure you know exactly what beat is happening and how long everything's supposed to ring out. Alright, so the tied notes thing, this chord is tied across the bar line. This thing here is tied across the bar line, meaning it will ring out longer than just this quarter note. So I believe you understand what quarter notes are. It seemed like it, but that's your quarter note right there. This black dot with the one stick coming off it. And that stick is called a stem. Now, the quarter note gets one beat. How do we know that? This 4/4 right here. That's a 4/4 time signature. This top number tells you how many beats are in the bar. The bottom number tells you what the beat equals. So the beat equals a quarter note, 4 for quarter note. It can be a 1 for whole note, 2 for half note, 4 for quarter note, 8 for eighth note, 16 for 16th note. So the top number can be anything because the top number tells you how many beats are in the bar. The bottom number can only be a specific amount of things. It could be a 1 for whole note, 2 for half note, 4 for quarter note, 8 for eighth note, 16 for 16th note. You can go with a 32 for a 32nd, but that's very rare, and I don't think I've ever even seen that. But you could theoretically do it. Anyway, so the metronome is going to be clicking away. You're going to be lining up the quarter notes with that click, all downstrokes. Tap your foot with the metronome. Very important. You get in that habit. Tap your foot, nod your head, follow that click. So, tie note. This means you're going to strum this chord on beat number 4, and it will carry across beat number 1 of that bar. So you'll strum again on beat number 2 here. And I'm going to demonstrate all this. Same thing happens here. You strum this F5 chord on beat number 4 of this bar, and it will carry across beat number 1 of the next bar. Down here we have a dotted half note. So if it didn't have a dot next to it, it would just be a half note. So it's basically a quarter note with empty circles, or hollow circles. So a half note gets 2 beats, or 2 quarter notes long. So a dotted half note gets 3 beats. It's 3 quarter notes long. So here we strum on beat 1 and 2. This will ring out on beats 2, 3, and 4. And then over here we switch the order. Instead of going quarter note, dotted half, we're going to start dotted half, quarter note. So we strum on beat 1. That rings out across beats 1, 2, and 3. Strum again on beat number 4. And the same thing happens here. Alright, so I'm going to demonstrate this without the repeats. Remember, after you max out, start doing it with repeats. So I will demonstrate what a repetition is supposed to sound like here, just to make sure you know. Make sure you hit this final chord, as I'm going to demonstrate here. When you do get to this last chord, no big deal about letting it ring out all 4 beats. That is a whole note, which means it rings out for 4 beats, or 4 quarter notes long. But that's just the easiest way to fill out the bar, so that's why I did it. So I always just hit it and say done, and then that's that. So no need to let it ring out all 4 beats. In fact, it's best if you don't, so this way you can get to the next speed on the metronome. Alright, here we go. I'm going to count off 4 so you can follow along. 60 beats per minute from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 180. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 240. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, I'm going to go back down to 120 to demonstrate what this would sound like with the repeat added back in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 done. So that's twice through. So see if you play it 3 times through, you play all that stuff 3 times, and then this last chord. And when you go for the 4 repetitions, again, play everything in between these repeat signs. These repeat signs here. You know they're repeat signs because of the 2 dots. So, yeah, 4 times you just play all that stuff that's highlighted 4 times, then hit the resolve chord, and that's how you do it. So, any questions, let me know, and I will see you in your video. My mouse is acting up, and it's ruining the ending of this lesson. All right, here we go.